It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory.
Good afternoon, everyone. Last call, all PDRs
August 14th is
and all
Election Day in
candidates
Trinidad.
of
We
Moral
have to
Corporation,
stand
please
united.
come to the
We
front
have to
and
stand
assume
together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory, to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory.
In our destiny, we solemnly declare. May God bless our nation. Hear every creed and race find an equal place. And may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
George! Are you ready? UNC!
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. To victory. From Penal Secondary, this is the UNC Local Government Election Campaign with your winning local government election candidates working for you. Plus Team UNC. Welcome to the heartland on the road to victory.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. UNC family. No. Come on, man. We mere days away from victory. Mere days of securing this country. Just a few more days. UNC family. Ah, yes, indeed. Thank you. We know you're alive. I know you're alive. Most importantly, they know. Hey, we're calling our Khadijah Castello and Ramona Victor, please. Come to the front of the stage. Come to the front of the stage. Penal, are you ready for this evening's proceedings? Yes, you are. And we are not here to take apologies. Too late shall be the cry. What good is an apology if it has no substance, if it has no meaning? If you could tell us that our roads and infrastructure was not a priority and you accept us to believe your apology, no, we are not going to believe that. Have you apologized for the 2,000 students that fell through the cracks? Have you apologized for our loved ones that died under tents in the hospitals? Have you apologized for the fact that people are jumping our walls and taking our family, our belongings, and terrorizing our family? Then we will take no apology from you. Come Monday, August 14th, all your sorries, all your crocodile tears will never ever be forgiven, because our job is to make sure and get rid of this Rowley PNM blight. And we, the UNC, have nothing to apologize for. When they meet you in the market, when they meet you by the parlor, by the junction, hold your head high and say, we didn't crash this economy. We didn't close down 5,000 plus retail stores. We didn't put so many of our citizens on the breadline. We did not take our beloved country and send it to hell in a gasoline soap paper bag. We, UNC, have nothing to apologize for. Let's start off with our first batch of candidates. I want you to put your hands together and welcome Superior Chairman Dinesh Sangha Singh. Make some noise.
Thank you. Political leader of the United National Congress, hardworking, dedicated, and committed, Kamla Prasad Bisasa. All members of Parliament, members of our executive team, most importantly this evening, all local government representatives, and our entire UNC family, a very pleasant good evening to you. Isn't it great to be in the house of the rising sun? UNC family, the code is yellow. We must paint this country yellow on come August the 14th. Let us spread the gospel of the United National Congress with your visionary, hardworking, dedicated and committed leader, the returning Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Friends, when you are young, when you are young and good looking like me, you reflect on the past. And I want us to travel down memory lane. Do you remember that period, 2010 to 2015? When you know your past, you can predict your future. Never before in the history of our country has so much been done for so many people in such a short space of time. This was the period 2010 to 2015. Answer me, who was the Prime Minister? Who was the Prime Minister 2010 to 2015? Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Life under Kamla Prasad Bisesa as Prime Minister was easier. We experienced reduced food prices, first and foremost. We had a higher standard of living. There was a historical settlement of wage negotiations with all the trade unions, which benefited the largest sector of the population. We were certainly better off and safer than where we are today. I want you to remember that on August 14th, 2023, we have an opportunity to save our beloved land from this wicked, cruel, and oppressive PNM government. We must return this land to the benevolent hands of the mother of our nation, the beloved Kamla Prasad Bisesa. UNC friends, my job here this afternoon is very simple. I am here to introduce 3 of my winning and returning candidates to the Superior Borough Corporation. First and foremost, I want to invite the returning representative for Avocat San Francisco, Mr. Dodnat Meru. Our next candidate, hardworking and dedicated, the returning winning candidate for Mandezi, Mr. Derek Bowen. And the third in the first winning tree, we have from Citrus, hardworking, well-known, Mr. Shankar Tilak Singh for Citrus. Friends, I thank you and we look forward to your continued support for the United National Congress, our winning candidates, and of course, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I thank you.
Yes, indeed. Hornblowers, again, we have nothing against the hornblowers, but please, it's causing some problems, and we can't hear much of the speakers. So please, we don't mind the whistleblowers, but hornblowers, Just ease up with us for a bit, okay? Bring in our second batch of candidates. Please put your hands together and welcome Penal DB Chairman Dr. Alan Sammy.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell you, almost 40 vote for UNC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome to the beautiful Penal Debe region. Penal Debe, as you know, is always on the news, and we're in the news for the right reasons. This is the home constituency of our own Mr. Rodney Charles, our own Dr. Rudal Munilal, our own Mr. Dave Tanku, and most importantly, our own political leader, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the returning Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. We want the public to know that Penal Debe stands firmly behind the Honorable political leader when she says, stand your ground, stand your ground. A lot of people who only know the theory of being robbed are telling us what are the answers. They say use reasonable force. They're telling you all kinds of things. I asked them the question, have you ever been robbed? And I am telling you I was robbed. And when I was robbed, from what I am hearing now, I should have said to the man when he was robbing me, excuse me, sir, but are you from a rough neighborhood? Are you going to have open heart surgery so you need my money so that you can go and do surgery? Is it that I have to ask you, your house burned down and you need my money to build back your house? Or is it that a concert coming up and I need to buy a $1,500 sneaker, so I want your money? Is it that is the reasoning I must use while somebody is robbing me? I ask you this. If I had a mechanical flambeau in my hand, that is how I have to put it, and a person is coming to rob me with a cutlass, I will say, boss, hit me only one chop. Let me assess if you are going to be using reasonable force. Or hit me two chop only, but don't wound me too badly. I want to find out if I should use reasonable force. Or should I let go, hold my mechanical flambeau, and let go 6 flambeaux in the Rukutung. What should I do? We say, stand your ground. We are with the Prime Minister to be. Stand your ground. And don't let anybody rob you of your hard-earned income. It is my pleasure to introduce to you tonight 5 of our returning candidates. They are going to be all winners. One is a new kid on the block, but the others are already veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome to the stage the representative who represents where you are sitting, the Councillor for Penal, Councillor Shanti Budram. The second is the longest serving member. I repeat, the longest serving member in local government over 30 years, Councillor Dipti Ramnath Quina Monjablo. I welcome the winning candidate for Roshad Barakpur East, Councillor Kemwati Kimi Chulan. I welcome the new kid on the block, the good-looking, the hard-working, the fellow who carries us through the paces quickly, the one and only Mr. Gerard Pereira. And it is my great pleasure to welcome one of the intellectuals on the council, a person who brings reason to everything that we do, the one and only councillor for La Fortune Debe North, Councillor Krishna Sunil Prasad Singh. Thank you very much.
August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Stand your ground now for you and your family. So let me vote. Just take the time to secure TNT.
A round of applause again for Chairman Dr. Alan Sammy and our candidates. We keep moving. Up next, we have a man who, of course, is no stranger. When the call is given, he heeds it and he comes out. You can't say Labre without mentioning this political activist. UNC family, put your hands together and welcome on stage Mr. Victor Roberts.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell you, August 14, vote for UNC.
Honorable political leader, members of parliament, members of the national executive, our winning councillors, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. UNC family, are you ready for the 14th of August? On the 14th of August, you must send a message clear to Keith Christopher Rowley that you have had enough of the wicked, evil behavior of a government who claims to look after the people of this country when the truth and in fact remains is that this government look after their friends and their financiers. You the people in this audience tonight, you must never forget it was Keith Christopher Rowley who shut down the aviation school in Cuba. It was Keith Christopher Rowley, ladies and gentlemen, who put a halt to your laptop program. It was Keith Christopher Rowley, ladies and gentlemen, that put a stop to the nursing training facility in El Dorado. It was Keith Christopher Rowley who stopped your book grant. And it is Keith Christopher Rowley that have you, the people of this country, on your knees simply because he has no mercy for you, the people. You must tell Keith Christopher Rowley on the 14th that since he have no mercy for you the people, then you would not have any mercy for any one of those PNM candidates on the 14th. You must vote them out. I want you to remember that under the pandemic, while you were dying or your loved ones were dying under the tents in this country, while it only had 67 ventilators, while we had an infection rate of 800, I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to ask all those who working with the PNM candidates, asking and telling you to come out and to support the PNM. I want you to ask these individuals where they were when you were under pressure throughout the pandemic, when the minister called you beggars. You must show no mercy on the 14th of August. You must vote them out.
I want to introduce to you tonight a candidate who intends to develop the Brighton Vestany area. A candidate who decides that she will bring about a preservative factory in Labre. A candidate who will develop your beaches. I present to you none other than Khadija Costello. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to further present to you a candidate who would not only defeat the PNM, but a candidate who intends to change the Erin fishing port. She wants to bring that fishing port in Erin to the point where we would be able to attract tourists and develop this fishing port whereby people would be able to survive. I present to you none other than my daughter, Chanel Roberts. And last but not least, I present the Palo Seco fighter, a lady who will ensure that she do what is absolute necessary to have the Burgesses pass through beach camp to access the Palo Seco beach and also to create a new avenue where people within Santa Flora will access the beachfront. I present to you none other than Nicola Sylvester. I thank you.
August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Come now we vote. Stand your ground now for you and your family. So now we vote. This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote.
UNC family, once again for Victor Roberts. And our candidates, please. Thank you so much. As we continue, we move on. Please put your hands together and welcome Faizabad MP, Dr. Lakram Bodo.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family.
Penal DB, are you ready? Siparia Borough, are you ready? UNC family, are you ready for the 14th of August? The Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, leader of the opposition, political leader of the United National Congress, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Alan Sami, Chairman of the PDRC, Mr. Dinesh Sankar Singh, Chairman of the Siparia Borough Corporation, my fellow MPs on this platform, other MPs and senators, members of NATEX, and of course, very importantly, our local government candidates here this evening, UNC families, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to you all. A week from today, Burgesses in the Siparia Borough will have the opportunity to re-elect their hard-working UNC councillors to the Siparia Borough Corporation. In fact, around this very time, next Monday, a week from today, the EBC will be in the process of tallying the votes in the local government election. Not only do we expect to retain all 6 electoral districts that we currently hold, but we expect to win all 6 by bigger margins in the Siparia Borough Corporation. And my brothers and sisters, with your help, we expect to take the other 3 from the PNM. Let us give it up for our brother Victor Roberts, who is doing a great job with the candidates in Erin, Palo Seco, and Brighton Vestany.
Ladies and gentlemen, last Friday, Prime Minister Rowley would have journeyed throughout these very parts on his way to Palaseco to announce plans to resurrect the abandoned Palaseco Velodrome. This is a facility that the PNM neglected for years since his government closed down Petrotrin. Whilst we are very happy for the burgesses of Palaseco, we want to put the PNM on notice that when the UNC takes the electoral district of Palaseco on Monday, August 14th, we will be watching very closely to see whether they are going to stop this project. Because, brothers and sisters, we know this is how this PNM administration has been operating over the past 8 years. Nothing for you if you live in a UNC-controlled part of the country. And speaking of recreational facilities abandoned since the closure of Petrotrin, why isn't the government paying attention to the recreation ground in Faizabad, opposite the Faizabad Anglican Secondary School? This ground, a once popular sporting and recreational facility for residents of Faizabad and environs, was left overgrown with bush and infested with rodents, presenting a health hazard to the hundreds of students who attend the Faizabad Anglican Secondary School. Despite numerous requests by residents to Heritage over the years to deal with this issue, it was left up to the Siparia Regional Corporation, via Councillor for the area Jason Ali, to step in to assist the frustrated residents. I'm making this point simply because, very quietly, Petrotrin has put the burden of looking after its facilities, recreational and certain communities, for example, in Crest Camp, and this without any additional allocation to the Siparia Regional Corporation. Correct, Chairman? Last Friday, the Prime Minister would also pass the major landslip at Skinner Trace in Quarry Village. This is a disaster that has been affecting hundreds of residents for more than 10 months now. I am informed that a new contract was awarded for this work recently, but there seems to be no urgency to fix it. I ask tonight, is it because this area is held by the UNC? I hope that when Jason Ali takes Sipari West Faizabad for the second time, having taken it from the PNM in 2019, that they will not stop the work. But you know, my friends, in the meantime, guess what has been happening? The PNM candidate, in their usual mamagai style of election politics, has dropped off some oil sand and boulders to appease the residents. So this is their modus operandi. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what they do. They throw some crumbs for you while the big money is diverted for the benefit of their friends and financiers. Starve the UNC-held regional corporations of funding by way of inequitable allocation and late release of funds. So we must not forget that, my brothers and sisters. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, on that trip by the Prime Minister through these parts to Palaseco, he would have passed through Siparia, and he would have passed in front of a facility called the Siparia District Health Facility. You all know the Siparia District Health Facility. What you may not know is that in 2010, newly elected Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa gave instructions to the Southwest Regional Health Authority, recognizing that this was an important facility, not only for residents of Siparia, but also for the environs, to ensure that this facility was opened 24/7 for your benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, it remains one of the few facilities that they have left open 24/7, but guess what? I am reliably informed that there are issues with maintenance. I am informed that there are issues with the ambulance service. Sometimes patients are kept overnight. I'm told that 4, 5, 6 patients have to wait on an ambulance because of issues breakdown. So this is a sign of how this government operates. They maintain nothing. And of course, waiting for an ambulance can make the difference between life and death. So this facility is something that needs to be dealt with. Just recently, yesterday and Sunday in the newspapers, you would have seen the shortage of some 3,000 nurses in our nation's health sector, which was reported by the TTRNA following a march through the streets of Port of Spain. And this shortage of nurses is a recurrent problem in the health sector and is not being addressed. But you know, brothers and sisters, if you look at yesterday's newspapers, there are two pictures that are carried in that newspaper which show the irony of how this government operates. And let me show you. One picture shows you a picture of the nurses walking through the streets of Port of Spain, highlighting their plight to the Minister of Health. But you know, the same day, on another newspaper, we have the Minister of Health hugging somebody else's baby on the front page. Now let me get a little bit into that. But it tells you that the priorities of this government and this Minister of Health. So this really was a picture taken at Mount Hope. You know, they were celebrating that Mount Hope and so on is okay now for breastfeeding. And I just want to say, as an obstetrician, as one who delivers babies and looks after women on a professional basis, I have nothing against breastfeeding, and I support any initiative that is meant to encourage breastfeeding for the women of our country. But I want to urge the Minister of Health to leave the breastfeeding in the hands of our very well-trained midwives and nurses and spend its time treating with the critical issues and challenges for our nurses are faced in the health sector. I want to urge Minister Dayal Singh to focus on treating with the long waiting time for cataract surgery at the San Fernando Hospital and to explain to the population why no cataract surgery for our elderly who depend on this surgery, why no cataract surgery is presently going on, and why it is he's taking so long to procure two new, I'll call it cataract machine. We call it phaco machine. Now, I don't want to go into the technical aspects, but basically, without these machines, the surgery cannot be performed. So you're paying highly qualified doctors, you're leaving them frustrated because they want to do the work, but you're not providing the equipment. But it's more than that. I'm also told that somebody is waiting for somebody to bring in the same two machine into the health sector, and that's why the delay is taking place. Does that sound familiar under this government? Yeah? Friends and families to benefit? So, I also want to ask the Minister of Health to explain to the population, now that the COVID-19 pandemic is finished, why it is that the 230 beds at the Couva Hospital and the brand new state-of-the-art, well, they ain't so brand new now, but they're still working good because we saw that during COVID. The CT machine, the MRI machine, the ultrasound machine, why that equipment is not being used for the benefit of the population of Trinidad and Tobago, when many of you here know of relatives, yourselves and family who wait sometimes months, sometimes years for these procedures. So there are a lot of questions, there are lots of issues that Minister Dayal Singh should be addressing instead of hugging up babies, you know, for front page picture. Another issue I want to address before I leave the health sector is to raise the issue of the raw deal that former Petrotrin employees and retirees got with regards to their healthcare needs when the Rowley government closed down Petrotrin in 2018. And I want to point out to you, and many of you will know, that right here in Clark Road, there was a Petrotrin Medical Center. Right down in Palo Seco, there was Petrotrin Medical Center. So I want to ask, what is the future of the 50-bed Augustus Long Hospital? We want to keep that on the front burner because if these facilities are reopened and run properly, they can benefit those former employees and retirees from Petrotrin who have suffered a raw deal. They were given 2 years of health insurance, and now that is gone. But don't let them make you believe that the issue is lack of funding. I just want to give you an example as I close, ladies and gentlemen. They have money, but the question is how they're spending it. A week after the election date was announced, I was driving down to my office in Faizabad one morning, and I was shocked because I see almost all the potholes were patched. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was shocked, but pleasantly surprised, and I'm happy that the residents of Faizabad benefited. But I have been writing the Minister of Works and Transport, the Minister of Public Utilities for the last few years, asking about the same pothole. What's the answer I get? One minister says, what's the problem? The next minister says, works problem. But 2 weeks before an election, all of a sudden, they could find the solution to fix the problem. There's no problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to point out to you how this government operates. As I close tonight, I also want to ask these questions. Have they refused to complete the Rosilak Hindu School because it is in a UNC electoral district? Have they refused to complete the Siparia East Secondary School because it is in a UNC district? So, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to the polls on Monday, August 14th to cast your vote, you must ask yourself these questions I have raised. We need to send a clear message in this local government election that the UNC will be ready and able to take back the reins of government in the upcoming general election. Monday, 14th August is phase 1 of the operation to resuscitate a Trinidad and Tobago that is suffocating under the heavy and incompetent hand of this PNM administration. Before I introduce our two candidates in a minute, I just want to leave you with a quote from a famous former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And it is this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen carefully. And the quote, it says, "It is the people who control the government, not the government the people." It says, "It is the people who control the government, not the government the people." This was a quote from the famous Winston Churchill, a wartime Prime Minister of Britain. Very prophetic words indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time to introduce our candidates. And I want to introduce to you two very hard-working candidates for the Siparia Borough Corporation. So first, allow me to introduce a young man who has already proven in his first term that he is up to the task. A man who is an energetic, passionate, and dedicated representative. A man who works tirelessly for his burgesses. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the man who will beat the PNM again in Otaheite Rosilak and retain this electoral district, Javed Mohammed. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, a man who is always available to his burgesses, a man you can call upon day or night, a man who will stand with you whether it's a flood or a fire, a man who will always find a way to get you that hamper when you need it most, a man who has been a dedicated teacher to thousands of children in Faizabad, a man who does much with little fanfare. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Jason Ali. And as I close, ladies and gentlemen, just to say that having taken the seat from the PNM in 2019, Jason Ali will again take the electoral district of Siparia Faizabad next Monday. I thank you.
August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Come now we vote. Stand your ground now for you and your family. So now we vote. This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote. Make sure the children safe in the community.
A round of applause again for Dr. Lakrambudo and, of course, our candidates. Up next, we have a man that we can rely on when it comes to the true state of the economy. He speaks out very loudly about geographical discrimination. UNC family Penal, please put your hands together and welcome on stage Oropu's West MP, Dave Tanku.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell you.
Political leader of the United National Congress, leader of the opposition and member of parliament for Siparia, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisessa, other parliamentary colleagues here today, fellow members of the National Executive, and nominees seeking to serve our country at the local government level, members of our viewing audience here in Penal, and the thousands and tens of thousands looking on the World Wide Web. My brothers and sisters all, good night! And it is a good night because now we are one more day. Now we are one more day closer to voting out this current, incompetent, malicious, paper-hating, vindictive, lying PNM government. Local government elections now and general elections coming. In my presentation tonight, I want to deal with just a couple of the lies of this government and show you why you cannot and must not trust them. You know, it seems that you must be a known liar to become a part of the PNM Rowley cabinet. And the bigger you are, the bigger the lie, and the more openly you lie, the higher in the PNM you could get. Ask Reggie Amor. You could give evidence on oath and in writing to an international court one day, get caught for lying, get kicked out of the case and become the Attorney General the next day. And it's not just him, you know. Faris Al-Rawi too has lied in Parliament and told bold-face, you know, them fellas just lie, bold-face, straight face, you know. And he too had to apologize for lying. But they are just following their leader. You all know about Emailgate, the Petrochin lies, and so much more. So when the PNM leader comes down to South to have a conversation with you after 8 years as Prime Minister, do you really expect to hear the truth? Well, one not so young lady wasn't satisfied with Dr. Rowley's PR and propaganda and mamagai and promises. She told him to his face in that conversation with the Prime Minister that she was fed up of the state of roads in our country. Well, to be fair, everybody fed up. Not just this lady, but everybody fed up. You know, today I saw a video on social media with a pickup van stuck in a hole so deep that he could not come out afterwards. You all saw that? Stuck in a hole so deep, Trinidad and Tobago now have pothole-eating car. We have come to that stage. The lady told Dr. Rowley to give her the contract to fix the roads in this country because all that was needed was common sense and the absence of corruption. First mistake this poor lady make. She talking to Rowley and expect common sense. You know what Dr. Rowley's words to this lady was? He apologized. He admit that the road's bad and he apologized. But you know what the explanation was? The explanation was that the country didn't have money so he couldn't repair the roads. You hear lie? That is lie. So I want to deal with those two things in my time here today. First, if the road repairs was not your priority, if the road repairs were not your priority, then please tell us, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. PNM government, please tell us exactly what was your priority. Because we are in the middle of the worst crime wave this country has ever witnessed. Fire service, prison service, police service, Coast Guard, everybody complaining about being understaffed and under-resourced. The murder rate is the highest it has ever been. So clearly, dealing with crime wasn't his priority. And that is why I want to use this opportunity to echo our leaders' call. Stand your ground, Trinidad. Stand your ground, Tobago. Stand your ground, people. What could have been this man's priority? What? We have an economy that after 8 years of Rowley and Imbert is smaller today than it was in 2015. We are now producing less goods and services in this country than we were under Kamala Prasad-Bissessa's administration. And I want to tell you why. Because just a few days ago, a judge in the High Court, not me say so, a judge in the High Court blasted Colin Imbert as Minister of Finance and the government for bankrupting a state company just so that they wouldn't pay the millions. It was $1 billion, $900+ million that this state company owed to contractors. And just so that they wouldn't have to pay it, you know, Colin Imbert and the government of Trinidad and Tobago rushed to use the court to try to sabotage those persons. When you add property tax, and you add the increased cost of transport, and you add the increased cost of utilities, you know that this government don't give a rat's tail. I was very careful, I said rat's tail. You know this government doesn't give a rat's tail about micro, small, and medium-sized businesses. They simply don't care. This government is willing to go to court to destroy hundreds of micro, small, and medium-sized businesses. If that is a shame, nothing else. So clearly, putting people in work and treating with improving the business environment and the ease of doing business wasn't the government's priority yet either. But what about the healthcare? Dr. Bodo was just telling us about the healthcare. Yesterday we saw nurses walking the streets complaining about being understaffed and stressed out, being forced to work multiple shifts, doing a job that requires 2 and 3 nurses. Imagine, Dr. Bodo told us, imagine that there's a shortage of 3,500 nurses in this country. 3,500 nurses, ladies and gentlemen. What Minister Diyal Singh, Imbert, and the Prime Minister is doing is putting our citizens and the medical staff at risk of their lives being lost. They're putting your lives at risk every time you go to the hospital because you don't have support. So clearly, healthcare is not their priority. But what about education? There remains numerous vacancies for teachers and so many schools that have been abandoned throughout this country. Not so, Vichy? Numerous! There are 2 schools in this area, right close to us. So if you drive around here, you would have seen them. One a primary school and one a secondary school. 95% finished when this government came into office. 95%. Today, those schools are rotten, overgrown with bush. Shame. So education is clearly not a priority. That's why they closed on gate. And what about water supply? Thousands of households in this country are doing without something basic as a regular water supply. In 2023, there are parts of this country that don't have water for 13 and 14 days, weeks on end. And what about drainage and infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen? If water is not the priority and healthcare is not the priority, surely drainage is the priority. Not so. That is why, welcome Jack. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to use the opportunity to welcome to Penal the Honorable Jack Austin Warner. We have crises in every sector of this country, from housing, public transportation, agriculture, public service. Every sector of this country is collapsing. So exactly what or who is this government's priority? You know who it is? Say it with me. This government's priority are friends, family, and financiers. Who does government care about? Friends, family, and financiers. Every time there's a cabinet sitting, some PNM minister has to jump up and leave immediately because of a conflict of interest, because somebody that they know is making money off a deal in the government. Everything else except you, this government is concerned about. The priority of this government, this PNM administration, is their friends, family, and financiers. But what else did Rowley say to Ms. Mitchell? He said this country didn't have money. You hear lie? That is lie. That's why you can never believe anything this government is saying, you know. This government has spent to date, 420, and as Anil says it, $420 billion. 420. Do you know how much money that is? Visualize this. That is enough money if you stack it to go from here to the moon, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. If they divide that money amongst you all, you know everybody here can get upwards of $300,000. Upwards of $300,000. Every day that Rowley and Imbert are in government, every day, they spend $145 million. Where are you seeing any of that? Look around. Are they seeing it? Nothing. But they could write off loans. They They wrote off an NGC loan for $400 million. $400 million. Somebody collect that and go on, and you know nobody held accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just one example. I could go on and on. I have plenty pages of examples of corruption under this government. But I want to deal with one lie quickly. Do you know that Rowley and Imbut have been coming around telling everybody? They're telling everybody, you know, with property tax and the election reform, the regional corporations will have more money. They say with property tax being collected, residential property tax being collected by the regional corporations will have more money. Well, that is an absolute lie. If, for example, the government was going to give to a regional corporation $100, and that regional corporation collects $25 in property tax, you know how much the government is going to give them? $75. Because the law now as it stands means that the government will offset their allocation by the amount of money being collected in property tax. So not 1 cent more. They are lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. And they're so out of touch. They're so out of touch. You know, these shameless people coming to tell you, hear what, fellas? All you vote for them. They're coming, PNM is coming to tell you, vote for them. They're saying, vote for them. And you know what they're going to give you back? Tax, tax, tax. Rate hike, water hike, gas hike. What else? These people so clueless and heartless and shameless, ladies and gentlemen. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot continue like this. We cannot continue like this. On August 14th, 2023, you have the opportunity to start the ball rolling. Your first chance to get rid of the PNM is on August 14th. And right after that, as I said when I started, general elections come in. It's pressure from now till then. Stand your ground and fight them off. And to help you and to help me fight them off. To help you and to help me, to help us save our country, ladies and gentlemen. There are some things that you must do. On August 14th, save yourselves. If you want this country to get better, if you want a better life for your children, if you want a better life for your family, if you want a future, vote for the UNC. Carry a family, carry a nanny, carry a kaki, carry Tante Dolly, carry everybody. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of announcing 3 of the UNC candidates who will bring victory to you and represent you with the honesty, commitment, and dedication that we in the UNC are known for. In keeping with our leaders' mandate, they will serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. The first person I want to bring to the platform tonight, she has been at your side, serving you, defending and fighting for your rights, for the electoral district of Sipara East, San Francisco. Welcome, candidate Ramona Victor. The next candidate is a stalwart, a fighter, and a champion of the people. The winning candidate for the electoral district of La Romaine, my brother, Sheldon Lyle. And joining us on stage now is the young, vibrant, good-looking, hard-working, and dedicated candidate for Davis South. Welcome, Kimran Ciceron. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen. On August 14th, do your duty. Save TNT. Thank you.
August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country.
A round of applause for Dave Tanku and the candidates. So I'm being bombarded with messages from early. Jack, come in, Jack. Hey, Jack is here. Jack is here. Blessed night to you. And a round of applause to all our MPs all our NATEX members, all our candidates. At this time, our next speaker is known for his loud roar. He takes no prisoners. Deputy political leader, a fighter, one of the top debaters in Parliament. UNC family, put your hands together and welcome Oropouche East MP, Dr. Rudal Munila.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Assembled in the fortress of Penal Debe, welcome to Penal, and let's hear a roar for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is the fortress of the United National Congress. This is a no zone for the PNM. The last time a PNM come here, Jack, he break his tail by the fire station. That is the fella you call big pin or small pin or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the Member of Parliament for Siparia, a former Minister of Education, former Attorney General, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Let us hear a rousing welcome to this daughter of the soil of Penal, Debe and Siparia. Welcome the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisessa.
Trials and testings does come before blessings, but we have to be patient, yeah. Weeping and mourning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God, the way on I go, so you don't really need to light up. Them say what goes around comes right back around. I go wait until my time go. So from sun up straight to sunset, you could catch I bus in a sweat. I patient yet. Weeping and mourning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God, the when the night come, so you don't really need to lie down. Them say what goes around comes right back around. I go wait until my time come. So from sun up straight to sunset, you could catch I bus in a sweat. I must time out. I feel like hope. Move any mountain, I trample any building like hope. Man better than monster. Dismantle any structure, boy. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Rip up my shotgun, bust up my jeans, and step on my problems. Then what we gonna do? Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out them, kick out my problems, kick out my problems. You see, the Most High never give us more than we can bear, but He give us the strength and the will and the power and the courage to handle our problems through Him. So on the count of 4, I want everybody step on their problems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Manhandle them, manhandle them. Dismantle them, dismantle them. Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out them, kick out your problems, kick out your problems. So I have to sink you under you flow. Right on the song, then just like a boat. So I have to push you down so you get up. They have to wonder how you dance get up. And every crack you see.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. Can we hear a rousing welcome for the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa and Dr. Gregory Bisesa? Brothers and sisters, thank you tonight for coming out here in your thousands. We have people as far as our eyes can see. When we look to the roadside, I believe we have more people outside than we have in the hall, where every single chair is occupied. But the law is the law, and this is a party that upholds the law. And because of this mammoth crowd tonight, the authorities are asking us for the crowd on my right, for the crowd to clear the exit. They are blocking the pathway to and from the stage. And that, of course, has some serious implications for health and safety and the rules by which we operate. This is because of the mammoth crowd that has engulfed the Penal Secondary School tonight for the United National Congress. So let us obey the law. Brothers and sisters, tonight, I want to thank all of you for coming out. I want to thank the thousands and thousands of persons who are listening or viewing our broadcast. So many people in Trinidad and Tobago and abroad listen to us, and we sincerely thank you for taking time from your schedule so you will hear us and carry our message. Let's give the listening and viewing audience a round of applause. Brothers and sisters, tonight we meet as the PNM is desperate. They are sensing defeat. Keith Rowley is sensing defeat on August 14th. Notice. He start hot and sweaty with local government reform. Hot and sweaty, Rowley talking local government reform. Now, 2 days ago, whenever at La Jolla, he said, man, this election is no big thing. Local government can't do nothing. This election is no big thing, win or lose or draw. He is sensing defeat, and we must put the final nail on the coffin on August 14th. And remove every semblance of PNM in every corporation throughout Trinidad, brothers and sisters. You see, these elections, when you look at it the way we are seeing it every day, every night, this looks like a general election. This feels like a general election. It's fire on the top and fire below. We have the mood of a general election. So August 14th is step 1, phase 1. And in 24 months or less, we shall remove them from the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters, I heard a few days ago, as Dr. Bodo said, I heard Rowley apologizing for the bad infrastructure. He said, oh, we're sorry, you don't have roads, you don't have bridge, you don't have proper bridges and so on. We didn't have money. That is what this person is saying. That is what he's saying. We don't have money, so we couldn't fix everything for you. Rohan Sinanan, I don't know what planet he living on. He said the PNM build everything in this country. They break down everything. They destroy everything. The people in South Trinidad, Petrotrin was a major industry for the people of Penal, Debe, and the Southland, San Fernando, Pointe-a-Pitre, and so on. They closed down Petrotrin, sent our people into destitution and poverty. Imagine they closed down Petrotrin so they could import oil and fuel. Rowley reminds me of a man who sell a fridge so he could buy ice. That's what happened there. He sell the fridge so he could buy ice. That is how they manage the affairs of this country. They talk local government reform. We talking local government reform. The PNM talking that when Rowley had hair on his head. They talking about that. When we were in office, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, local government reform is a simple thing. Provide resources to councils and councillors so they will fix the road, so they will fix the bridge, so they will provide street light, so they will fix recreation ground. You don't need no degree in science for that. But what did they do with the money? I want to tell you briefly tonight. Would you believe they took money, millions of dollars that could have been spent on roads, bridges, drains to prevent flooding, to pay people in England. They paid professional people in England to come down to Trinidad to investigate UNC officials. They paid millions and millions of dollars. Tonight I want to tell you, a former commissioner of police was sent to England to meet a lady there. We call she SRP Kate. He went to meet her there. When he meets she said, well, it's nice to see you, but we don't know what we have to investigate, you know. The government of Rowley tell them, look, we're not interested in this corruption thing. We're interested in that. We're interested in UNC targets. A former commissioner of police had to go to England. When he met her, she said, we are interested in what you come here for. You know, we know who are the targets of the government. We're going after them. And they'll put up on the screen now, look, you know, I don't know why these things just find me. What it is about me. Look, the bills, they are still paying. This is a bill dated June 2023, that is recently. How they sending me a bill? Imagine them investigate me and like they want me pay the bill. This is a bill for $3.2 million owing to Edmonds, Marshall, and McMahon. That is the woman, Kate McMahon, SRP Kate. They make her superintendent of police. The people finish their work, not one single charge. They cannot charge any UNC official. They cannot prosecute. They cannot indict. None. None. But they come. But today, Kevin, bring up the other bills because I want to show them the bigger bill. That is a bill that they're owing now $3.2 million. But if you look at some of the other statements, these are invoices. And they call them Case A, Case B, and Case C. You know, is that? Case C is not a sweet drink. Is EMBDC, Live Sport, and Clico. That's what's called Case A, B, C. EMBDC, Live Sport, and Clico. Their job was to investigate that, but only investigate UNC targets. And when they finished, they had here, according to the documents we have in our possession, they paid 34 million TT dollars. 34 million gone. In the next bill you will see, and look at the short period of time in these bills. For a few weeks and a few months, millions and millions of dollars. That is a bill for 34 million. In fact, they say amount outstanding and process, British pounds and what have you, another 15 million. They paid $45 million and we have it here. But you know, the people in England, they didn't know it's the PNM they're dealing with. You can't trust the PNM even if you're working for them. Because the PNM now telling them we have no money to pay you. So they who were investigating contractors for not being paid, they end up not being paid. And this is a scandal. $45 million gone. Bills still coming. But you have no money for box drain. Today people in this country are begging, you know what? when we walk the roads now, we walk with councillor and candidate and sing. You know what people asking for? 2 wheelbarrow of, what is this, oil sand? I feel in my constituency, we're going to throw a barbecue to raise money for oil sand. We're calling it the oil sand barbecue. Not that you're eating that, eh? But this is what people want. So basic a necessity as 2 wheelbarrow of oil sand. People yearning, they want that. You spend $45 million and you cannot provide a wheelbarrow of oil sand to people. Have people traumatized. They come in front of the house, water come in the yard, mash up the furniture and so on. This is where we have reached, brothers and sisters. So when Rowley tell you they had no money, he lie. He lie. He take all the money to spend to investigate Gary Griffith. You all remember he hired Stanley John and others to do reports on the FUL, Firearm User License Report. The court say you can't release that report. Keep it right there where you have it. He did that. He made a statement, Saddam. He said, if all you read that report, the hair on your head go stand up. I want to ask him how he know that. You know your head. How you know your head go stand up? And I stop right there, I ain't going nowhere else. So that is the situation we face with this fella. All the money to prosecute Gary Griffith, to prosecute UNC people, and none for utilities to you. This is why the local government election is the most important election you will fight, most important election you will vote in on August 14th. And you have to get them out. Brothers and sisters, before I close, I want to raise another matter that is in the public domain. Another matter that is in the public domain I'll raise now. This morning in the Express, I think it was this morning, a headline, Rowley in breach. Rowley in breach. This is the headline. That is the headline. But the story is very important. And we have to give a round of applause to MP Saddam Hussein, Barataria Sawa, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Anand Ramlogan, and others who have been involved in this. Now, brothers and sisters, I don't have time to tell you in no technical detail what happened here. So I'm going to tell you in Munilal detail. What happened here is February 2019, Dr. Rowley and his wife buy an apartment in Tobago, condominium, whatever you call it. They buy an apartment. February 2019, I believe it was. Then 2 years later, the daughter see the apartment. She said, well, I like that. I want to. Now, where all of them living that they need apartment? They're living in the diplomatic center, I'm told. I'm told that the whole family, Jack like the Waltons long time, the whole family living there in the diplomatic center. But they're buying townhouse and guest house and condominium. The daughter buy, husband and wife buy, and so on. Mr. Saddam Hussein discovered, when he did the research, that they paid much less for it than what is called the market value. They paid less. But if you pay less, something a little fishy there. If you see a house, people just generally want more money than what it value, you know. They don't want less money. The house there is being sold by a fellow named Alan Warner. I want to tell Rowley, his problem is not Jack Warner, it's Alan Warner. It's Alan Warner. It's not Jack Warner. Right? It's Alan Warner. Alan Warner sell Rowley. He sell his daughter. He sell the next child. He maybe sell the dog, a kennel too. And they reduce the price. Mr. Saddam Hussein tell the Integrity Commission, check that out. That is not normal to reduce the price by $480,000. The Integrity Commission investigate. They said Rowley breached the law by failing to declare on the Form B of the Integrity Commission a statement. He breached the law. But the Integrity Commission, they say well, he breached the law, but he didn't knowingly make a false declaration. He get a gift, but it's really not a gift with the duties of Prime Minister. What the hell is a gift with the duty of Prime Minister? A vase from Beijing, China? That's a gift. But he got a benefit from a man who is a contractor with the government of Trinidad and Tobago, with UDCOT. Alan Warner build the road to go to the Prime Minister's house in Tobago and then sell him 2 houses. All you understand that? Sell him 2 houses, huh? Under price, sell him 2 houses under price, having built the road to go to his house in Tobago. Alan Warner gave them that. a gift. The Integrity Commission said, no, he good. But years ago, they had charged and prosecuted Basle Upande. They prosecuted, I think, Finbaganga. But today, they want to put Rowley off the hook. They say, no man, he all right, he didn't mean anything. So tonight, if I ask now, the 800 people how much it is, like myself, who have to file integrity declaration, we not sending in no blasted Form B. Because there are no law on that. It have no consequences to that. There are no legal consequences to declaring in Form B. The Integrity Commission has made a dangerous ruling, very dangerous. They are encouraging public officials to breach the law, and they are doing it to defend a political leader of the PNM. So tonight we call on the Integrity Commission to have some integrity. To have integrity. Saddam Hussein has issued a statement today calling on them to clear the air as to why they got Rowley off the hook. What is so special? In fact, a prime minister must observe the law. He or she, they have a greater duty to uphold the law than ordinary citizens because they are the leader of a country. And you telling me Rowley breached the law. He didn't declare, but all of that is fine. Well, if it's fine for Rowley, it's good for Rudal too. Huh? So tonight I raise that with you. The matter is heading to the courthouse, and it may reach the Privy Council. And you know Rowley don't like Privy Council. So he don't like Privy Council at all, so you'll have to watch it there. Brothers and sisters, the time has slipped by so quickly. I wanted to end by encouraging you to come out on August 14th to vote in your numbers. Whether it's Penal Debe, let me hear you. We will remove them in San Fernando. Let me hear you, San Fernando. We will wipe the floor with them in Siparia. Let me hear you, Siparia. We will destroy them in Princestown. We will beat them to a frazzle in Mayaro. And in Cuba, we will beat the frazzle. So brothers and sisters, excite yourself, energize your communities, your family, your friends, your street, your village, your town, your city, so we can come out in our great numbers and send this message to Keith Rowley that his days are numbered. The writing, Mr. Warner told you, the writing is on the wall. But Jack, they cannot see it because they thief the wall. They thief the wall, so they cannot see the writing on the wall. So we will come out and support. Brothers and sisters, my great duty and task now is to introduce our winning candidates for the Penal Debe Regional Corporation, and one special candidate we have here. We have a young man, dynamic young man, going for his second term in the electoral district of Barrackpore West. He's a dynamic community, social, religious leader. Brothers and sisters, welcome Nicholas Kanhai. We have a powerhouse woman. We have a powerhouse woman, a dynamic woman, a great speaker, a leader, a community activist, hot like a chulha. Bring on Mohani Ramnarayan. Debe East Esperance Union Hall. Brothers and sisters, a young dynamic man going to his first term, a youth. And we promote our young people in the United National Congress. He is going as a youth, as a child of the United National Congress. He is going out to the wicket for the first time to bat. And we are sure he will be victorious, triumphant. Welcome Palmy's Hermitage, Mr. Revan Ramsawak.
Vote for UNC. Vote for UNC.
Brothers and sisters, we have a special dynamic brother who is flying the flag in Point Fortin. We encourage everybody in Point Fortin to come out and vote for all the candidates. The National Transformational Alliance has candidates there, but the UNC has a soul, a great candidate, a young dynamic brother. He is contesting on behalf of the UNC, flying our flag in Point Fortin, New Village. Welcome, Denison Pierre. to the winning candidates. Thank you all very much and God bless you. Love you all.
Let us stand our ground. No matter what comes our way, let us stand our ground. Thank you all very much. Thank you. UNC family! Thank you all very much. UNC family and friends, thank you for joining us tonight. And what is the code? The code is? The code is? UNCN. Thank you so much. It is always so great and wonderful to be in my hometown, in the constituency of Superior. And I welcome all of you to the great home that I know as Superior. And to Keith Scotland, let's say welcome Penal Davy Corporation. Now Keith Scotland is not, what was it, Pine Dibal? What's the name we are in the corporation of? Penal, Davy and Superior. Welcome all of you. You know, we have a special welcome tonight to more than one person. Well, let's give it up to Mr. Jack Warner, who's joined us here in Superior. All my MPs, senators, NATEX, all our wonderful candidates. Do you see the team of candidates? They're young, they're not so young, but they're all UNCN proud. All. Thank you. You know, as the teams are walking the length and breadth of our country, we can feel the love. Everywhere the UNC yellow goes, you can feel that love. You have the support. People are welcoming the UNC and our partners, the NTA and others, everywhere we walk. I've always been committed, as you know, to national unity. Those words are buzzwords. We've always been in the UNC committed. And so once again, we have started to bring people together with the growing accommodation that we have. Starting with the NTA, led by former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith. This has grown with the most welcome return of, guess whom? Mr. Jack Warner and the ILP. And we equally welcome the Pointe-a-Pierre branch of the OWTU. Welcome them as well. Many groups and individuals, they have reached out to join us. People are fed up of this dictator and his behavior. And so this emerging alliance will continue to grow into a mighty political force. This powerful political unity will bring the views and aspirations of all our diverse people to bear on national development. This is the national solution we need more than ever if we are to save our country. So friends, tonight, we must save our homes, we must save our children. We must rescue them all from the disaster inflicted on us all in the past 8 years by dictator Rowley. As we say to you, united we stand, together we can, and the sun will rise on our land. But first, we have a job. We have something to do. My colleague spoke earlier, and I endorse all their powerful statements tonight. But first, we have to rid our land of dictator Rowley. That's the first thing we have to do. We must get rid of the dictator. Most of you are going through problems. And what you want, really? Rowley thinks about money. Money can't buy love, you know, remember that? What you want is empathy. What you want is reassurance. What you want is kindness from your leaders. You don't want a hostile dictator blaming and talking down to you. What you want is love, empathy, encouragement, and reassurance that your leaders will work to give you a better life. You know, PNM MP who attended the conversation gimmick thing they had on Saturday, he told me that the dictator didn't even try to empathize with his own PNM members who were asking questions about issues. So what we say is go to the polls all week this week, special voters, and from Monday go to the polls. Vote for love. Vote for compassion. Vote for care. The code is blue. The code is yellow and blue, wherever you are. Let us send a message to the dictator and the world that you are uniting and advancing to save yourselves, because this government has no love for normal people. People are coming united and strong, and you have to come together to save yourselves and to save Trinidad and Tobago. So what do? You know what? Stand your ground. Yes, what do? Stand your ground. At our last meeting, I told you all that we must stand our ground against home invaders. We have to protect our families. I heard the dictator saying I should not have said that. You know, never in the history of our country has any leader ever been so passionate about the well-being of criminals as Rowley now seems to be. His greatest priority is about the criminals and not about law-abiding people. Imagine, after being in office for almost 8 years, presiding over a runaway crime spree, over 4,000 innocent citizens have been slaughtered by criminals. And the dictator is now more concerned about what? What is he concerned about? The criminals. He worried about the criminals who invaded your home. They're talking about what? Force. What kind of force? He's more concerned about criminals than law-abiding citizens. I want to ask you tonight, what has he done to deal with this out-of-hand crime situation? Look at this video, please. Just look at this video for me. Look at this video, please. Check that. Security detail, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has this big security detail with automatic rifles. While he and all his family are protected, it is you all are unprotected. Check the security detail on that video. 1, 2, keep going, 3 and more. Totally protected by your taxpayer dollars paying that security detail. But he's telling you all, Don't worry, it's okay. Kamala crazy. She's a dangerous woman. I am proud to be dangerous. I'm dangerous to stand for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And then Melville, they have a problem with Faris. Faris has a problem with legal firearms. He's disturbed by my words. But check the video. He has no problem with his children toting these huge rifles because they are protected and you are not. Show that picture. Show that picture. What about that, Faris? You worried? When Faris' children were using high-powered weapons, he had no issues. If that was poor people children, you know what happened? All of them in jail. If it was poor people children, all in jail. All in jail. Again, look at this other clip. This is what you face at the hands of criminals every day. Check out this. Kevin, can you please put up? Yes, look, criminals. So you are frightened. You're locked up inside your home. Imagine that. The criminals run right outside and you law-abiding persons, you're locked away behind burglar-proof, literal bars. You're in a prison in your own home. And you are there like sitting ducks at the mercy of the criminals. And look at this man, Hines. Rowley refuses to move Hines. So Rowley chooses the sleeping man ahead of you and your children. 4,000 plus murders. And he will not get rid of this incompetent Rip Van Winkle. I think Rudy has a different name. Always sleeping on yourself. That's the man in charge of your safety and your security and that of your children. But Rowley chooses him above you and your families. So my friends, look, in this land of ours, this beautiful land of ours, TNT, okay? Trinidad music is very popular among the young people. They feel disregarded and marginalized in our country, and that reflects our socio-cultural reality. I also agree that many gangs also use Trinidad music to promote themselves. That is true. But it's also true that many children, young people, they like it for fun. They light up the world. They say, light them up, just light them up, light them up. And as I speak about gangs, let's look at the special branch report about a Minister of Government, Foster Cummins. Can we put that up? Special branch report, not mine. Not Rudy and Kamala and Jack Warner, you know. This is a special branch report. Imagine this man. He's under investigation for gang ties. He's under investigation for DSS links. You all remember that? Two small memories, you know, DSS. He's under investigation for business deals. He's under investigation in the credit union. I think he got thrown out of the university. Yes. He got thrown out for why? For plagiarizing, for copying somebody else's work. But he's apologizing for me. I am not apologizing for anyone. I will not apologize for anyone. My question, why is he still in the cabinet of Keith Rowley? Why? I will not ignore our country's young people, marginalized people, whom this government has abandoned and turned their backs on. You know, all of us were young once, and sometimes we are a little rebellious when we are young. But that's how we learn and we grow. I will not turn my back on any of the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. I am trying to reach out to them. I am trying to reach out to the young people. I'm trying to learn their language and speak their language so they can become involved in the political process, become part of the governance of Trinidad and Tobago. And so as leaders, we must humble ourselves. We must learn to listen to the young people. So if I'm talking Trinidad language to you, that is the language of the young people we represent. You cannot listen, you know. You cannot listen. You cannot learn if you do not speak the language of the old, the not so old, and of the young people. I am trying to engage with them. Every man and woman that was murdered had a daughter, had a son, mother, father, nephew, niece. And we must not push these young people away. It is our responsibility as adults to reach out and help them. They too are the victims of crime. Indeed, this government, their failure to address the rampant crime has deprived many children of a mother, of a father, of a brother, of a sister, because of the failure of this incompetent, wicked government. And again I say to you, again I say, under my government, when you put us back into office, not if, you know, when you return us back into office, we will bring stand your ground laws to protect men, women, children, and families. We'll also make it easier for law-abiding citizens to get legal firearms to protect themselves against the scourge that is upon us. And we are not saying you're giving everybody who apply. There'll be a process, there'll be a structure, there'll be questions to ask. You'll have to go to testing, psycho-testing, all kinds of things. It's not pick up a gun, which this dictator seems to believe. You'll just, everybody's sitting here, give you a gun. No, there will be a proper legal process to give law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. You know, but I want to ask the dictator something, and you all have to ask them when they come in them red shirt and thing. Ask them this. And since they are so against legal firearms, legal guns, Mr. Prime Minister, Dictator Sir, how many of your ministers own firearms? How many of them holding guns? Some of them holding not one, not two, not three, 4, 5. Tell me how many? Tell me. Tell us. Sitting and say you can't give gun to law-abiding people, but your ministers in your cabinet holding guns. You know? Well, the children toting gun too, but that's something else. So, it is typical dictator arrogance and hypocrisy to berate citizens for wanting to lawfully own a firearm to defend themselves and their families, whilst him and his ministers all have guns and police protection. They all have. There are blue light flashing up and down the highway. But they're telling you, no. When they invade your home, what do? Come and sit down, please. You want some tea? You want some roti? You want some bacon shark? You want some soup? Come, welcome. I said no. Light them up. 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 I want to tell you tonight, my information is that most of Rowley's ministers have firearms, they have guns. FUL, you know what FUL? Firearms, what is it, Jack? Users license. They have guns, legal guns, but they don't want you to get it. But they have it. And on top of that, they have special branch and police security. But you know, Rowley have a special problem with the special branch. But I'm not going there tonight. I'm not going there tonight. I'm not going there tonight. And this is the same man. He wanted special guns. Did you all know that? He wanted special guns to kill pig and sheep. But he's now against you getting a gun to defend your family. This is the same man who wanted a firearms dealer's license for his friend in Tobago. Did you know that? And that, he wanted a special license, firearm dealer's license for his friend in Tobago. Rowley, we will expose you every night and day. You will be exposed. But doesn't want you. Dr. Cruikshank, Pastor, he don't want you to have a firearm to protect and defend yourself. So, this is the same man. He talks about millions of rounds of ammunition missing. But he cannot give us one shred of evidence. So you hear lie? That is a lie. That is a liar. That man is a liar. This is the same man who has underfunded, demoralized the hard-working officers of the TTPS. This is the same man. Tonight, others spoke about his priorities and where it went. Roads were not his priorities. Healthcare not his priorities. Education, nothing is his priority. Where are the priorities going? In paintings, remember? Casabo paintings. How much million in a mansion in Tobago? Priorities not with the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You know, somebody called me last night. Sometimes it's hard. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but I think it's a good line to tell you tonight. You know, we talk about the working class. But she told me, she said there's no longer working class, there's only catchers in Trinidad and Tobago. No working class. Only catchers. The brave men and women of our national security services have been treated horribly. Police and prisons and so on. They go out daily to protect and serve. They leave their families unprotected at home. All police officers, prison officers, and those in the Coast Guard must be granted, I say today, a firearm user's legal license. Everyone. Everyone. And it must be paid for by the state. When these officers leave home, they leave their families unprotected. They can't even go back and run in to help save one of their own family members. Do you agree? Every protective service member should be able to protect themselves and their families when they are off duty. I also call upon government to rescind the wicked 4% insult to our officers. Give them a meaningful raise in salaries. Officers should also be guaranteed extra duty pay, especially when they have to attend court hearings on their days off. These people, Rowley, the special branch is very special. Treat them specially. Whether you like them or not, they work hard. They work hard. They work hard. They put their lives at risk every single day. The children of our officers should be guaranteed gate funding for their education. They protect and serve us every day. One or two bad ones, but the majority are good, loyal personnel serving our country. Their children must be guaranteed gate funding to get a tertiary education. And if we secure our security personnel and their families, there will be no doubt. They will be more motivated. Jackie, you were National Security Minister, you know that. You demoralize the police every day. You underfund them. You don't help them. You don't help their family. But you want them to go and protect and serve. And they do try. But we must motivate them first. Remember, I tell you, if you're dead, no road, no bridge, no hospital, no salary, no job, nothing will help you. First, live. So stand your ground. Stand your ground. When you go to vote, vote against that evil 4% insult. Vote against an evil government that worked our police and prison officers to death during COVID, and then they refused to pay them properly. So now we stand our ground for security personnel in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, it's amazing how some people suddenly found a very fake sense of humanity. Hypocrites, I call them. They all say nothing about crime, nothing about the robberies, nothing about the rapes, nothing about the murders, nothing about the home invasions. And suddenly, they wake up and they want to talk about Kamla and what Kamla say. They said nothing about the rapes, nothing about robbery, nothing about the crime, nothing. They keep quiet about the dehumanizing treatment of victims of crime. They do not complain about how hard it is for ordinary citizens to live and survive. But when I say to life up criminals, man, they wake up and everybody down on my throat. Listen, I will not give up. I will stand my ground. We will stand our ground. So suddenly, all these armchair people, suddenly they're experts about what is reasonable force. And they're so very concerned about the rights of the bandits who invade your homes. They're experts in race relations. They're concerned about speech. And yet when they were murdering and raping and killing women and children, they had nothing to say, nothing to say. So I call upon these hypocrites. Talk about defending the victims of home invasions and crime. Victims suffer from depression, anxiety, constant fear. Victims sometimes commit suicide. Families are destroyed. Marriages are broken. Children are left scarred for life. What about the feelings of victims? Let us hear your voices. You're mewling and puking. All these armchair politicians every day. You're worrying about the criminal invading the home, but you're not worried about the women and children who deserve safety and protection. Not worried. Not worried. And they call me a dangerous woman. I said it before. They call me a dangerous woman, yes. Well, I have to be a dangerous woman because there are too many weak men and weak women in positions of influence. They do nothing to protect you. Do nothing to stand up for you. And the weakest of all is the dictator himself. So my friends, I have to be a dangerous woman to protect you and your family from the criminals. What kind of person would not support stand your ground to protect your families? I want you to look at this article today, please, on the Express. Can we put it up, please, Kivan? Is it up? Express article. Yes. 2 retirees were beaten at their Barkpore home by masked men who stole their vehicle as well as items from the house. The home invasion took place around 7:15 a.m. on Saturday. A 64-year-old woman, her 73-year-old husband were at their home when 2 men, one with a gun, entered the door which was open. A robbery was announced, and they told the couple, "Somebody send me on a walk. Somebody send me on a walk." They proceeded to tie their hands with rope. They beat the couple about their bodies. They took the keys to the white Nissan. The men then left in the 80,000 vehicle, which was parked in the front yard. Retirees, pensioners. We have brave police officers going out every day, fearlessly. Listen, we also have Ian Allen every day, going all over, assisting the police. Give Ian a round of applause. Light him up. Light up Ian Allen. But they cannot be everywhere. That is why we need to stand up and fight back. Criminals must have the fear that if they come to invade your home, you are not defenseless. They will be injured or killed. They must know that. But at the moment you are sitting duck in your home because they say no force, you can't use this, you can't do that. Listen, if you have a gun, legal gun, and the bandit come and he come with a boulder, what are you going to do? Put down the gun and go and look for boulders in your yard? What do? Light them up! Stand your ground! Ask yourself, when you read the opinions of these weak men and women, do they actually see you? The ordinary people of Trinidad and Tobago, do they see you? They don't see you being forced out of your homes by gangsters. They don't see your children under self-imposed curfew in hotspot areas. They don't see you being extorted by criminals, so they won't burn down your home or business. They don't see when your sons are forced to join a gang at gunpoint or be killed for refusing. They don't see when your wives and daughters are raped and beaten. They do not see when you're struggling with food prices, school supplies, and rent. They don't see you when you have to pay property tax. They say, vote for me, and guess what? Pay me property tax. That is their campaign. That is their campaign. Vote for PNM, and when the election done, pay property tax. They don't see you when you have to pay that tax. Property tax, inheritance tax, increase water, increase electricity rates. And after, how much time to raise the fuel price, somebody? Six times? 6. And they ain't riot yet. Well, on Monday, riot with your fingers, your voting finger. Riot on Monday. Put out that finger. They don't see you, Dr. Bodo. When all your constituents' crops are flooded out, homes flooded. You know, I am a very young person, right? Say yes. Okay, I'm not so young anymore, but in all my life, I have never seen San Fernando flood out as last weekend. Anybody here? I have never seen that happen. Before it was Penal, yeah, Barkpore. Hey, the whole of San Fernando flooded out last weekend. You saw it. What has gone? What has not happened in this wicked government? So they don't see you when people come and steal your crops. When they chop down whatever they don't steal. Ratiram is always talking about his MP Ratiram. Always talking about the agriculture sector. They don't see you. They don't see you when you cannot get a job. They don't see you when your mental health is being frazzled. Well, Rudy says some more frazzled tonight, but I'll endorse it. So I want to tell you tonight, please, before I close. Time goes so fast when you're enjoying yourself. Superior, Penal, thank you and God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm always happy to be in my hometown. And this Superior and Penal welcome has lifted my spirits and lifted my heart that I know we will win this election. No. They don't see you in all your suffering and pain. They don't see you. But I want to tell you tonight, I, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I see you. I have always seen you. I've always been and seen the poor and working class in our country. I have always loved you, and I will always love you. And I and we will always fight for you. The weak men and women, they saw the baby grant, $500, take away the baby grant. They took away the VAT, 7,000 food items. They took away the expansion of gate. They took away the cerebral palsy grant. They took away subsidized fuel. They took away the laptops for children. They took away the free school transport. They took away the expanded school feeding program. They took away the land for landless program. They took away the many programs that we had put in my government. Several of my ministers are here tonight. Rudal Munilal. Khadija was not in the cabinet, but she was that. Jack Warner. Dr. Lakram Bodo. MP Indar Singh. Others who work with us, Rishi and others. MP Tanku. We know what it is like to fight and struggle. And the programs that we put in were to help the catch-us class. Forgive me for using that word. Was to help the poor, the vulnerable, the most in need. And they took away all those programs. What do we say? Vote them out, vote them out, vote them out. They are not offended when the country's money is diverted to give Faris and family $250 million in rent. They don't worry about that. What do they worry about? My $500 baby grant to give a newborn baby a fighting chance. Every mother here knows. You feel it in your belly and in your stomach when a child doesn't have food. Fathers know it too. When a father cannot bring home food to put on the table, can you imagine his plight? So we gave that baby grant. And they were offended by that. They were offended and they fight it on and they take it away. We will bring back the baby grant. We bring it back. And so, they are not offended when the money, as I say, is diverted. Faris and family, Stuart Young and family, getting over how many billions, Wade Mark knows it well, about 7 billion, Wade, in contracts. They're not offended by that, They're all about the rich getting richer. And they care only about themselves. They are saying you're not escaping tonight. Your wife's company getting hundreds of millions in state contracts. But you take away the baby grant ban. That hurts me, hurts me, hurts me. It hurts me. Shame. So I said those weak people really do not live in Trinidad and Tobago. They do not know the pain or the suffering that ordinary people are going through in this country. Look, I will take any criticism. I will take any criticism, but I can always say, no other leader ever loved the poor, the working classes, and the children of this country more than I. None, none. And as my colleagues told you, Shanti, as they told you, the PNM is getting very desperate. And when they get desperate, a wounded animal is a dangerous animal. They're desperate. And therefore, I want to ask the ABC, what criteria did you use to select returning officers for everywhere, but especially for San Fernando City Corporation? What was the criteria? Is it true that the returning officers, John Mark George and Lorette Hope McDonald, are registered PNM members and returning officers in San Fernando City Corporation? Is it true? And before this week is done, we will expose all of them working. John Mark George. Where do you think that George is related to Annie said George, Speaker, or Newman George? I don't know. John Mark George is a returning officer for Lesafort East. Hear me, Lesafort West, Springvale Paradise. That's 3 San Fernando critical seats. Lorette Hope McDonald is a returning officer for Marabella East, Marabella South Vista Bella, Marabella West, Macayes, Marabella West, you all see too. All of these are hotly contested marginal seats. So I call on these returning officers, tell me, are you on the PNM's registered members list? And if you are, you have to declare a conflict of interest when you sit as returning officer in these hotly contested San Fernando seats. As I say, before the week is done, we'll bring some more names. You see, we never paid attention to these things before. But the PNM, wicked, corrupt, evil, they have a way to. They have a way to. Thief. So be alert. Be very alert. Your agents in those stations, put them on the manners. Light them up. Light them up. And we must remember, how did they choose these returning officers? I have caused a letter to be sent from the party to find out the names of the presiding officers and deputy presiding officers. And if they are conflicted, we will light them up as well. We will. And we must remember, in 2017, the Deputy Chief Elections Officer, her name was Lena Sahade. She worked for the EBC for 24 years. She was bypassed to appoint Fern Narciscope, who was a junior contract officer, as the EBC's new Chief Elections Officer. It is alleged, Wade tells me all the time, that this lady was a close family member of a sitting PNM minister. And bestie of the current Minister of Education. And then become to one of the senior commissioners of the BC. He's a senior partner in a law firm that since this government came into power has received over $23 million in legal briefs. These are the people, and that is why I renew my call. I repeat my call for international observers, election observers. Bring in international election observers, because this government is desperate. They tell me up in Grandy, they're walking with a bag full of money, the only honest Indian in Trinidad. You know who is that? A fellow named Rohan Sinanan. He called himself the only honest Indian. They walk him in a box. That is the only man who knows how much dollars is fit in a carry box. That's what he said. Carry box, walk him in a carry box and bag up in Grandy, but money will not save you. The hearts of the people are against you. It will not save you. Will not, will not. And I know Kevin will give me a time check in a few minutes, but let me go. Yes, I will. They're now patching road everywhere. Election gimmicks again. But up in Camden Road, can you put it up, please, Kevin, the road they're patching up there. At Camden Road in Couva, you know what they're doing? So desperate are they to show for 8 years they did nothing, that they're now doing something. But what they're doing, they are digging out the old material, and then they're taking the same old material, bad material, they're putting it back into the holes that they are patching, compacting it, and then covering it with a thin layer of gravel. So after August 4th, you know how much a road gone through. What kind of work is this? Bad roads, bad patching, and yet that's their answer to try to win this election. My colleague already spoke about Rowley breaks the law. I planned to speak about it, but time is against me, but let me just hold it up. Trinidad Express, Rowley in breach of the law. And this has to do, as Dr. Munilal told us earlier, with the apartments they bought in Tobago. But know this, the other people who have bought there are all the P&M Eater Food people. Newman George, Gilbert Peterson. If your name is like a whole P&M camp in that Inez Gate. So I'll talk another night, but I have to ask some questions from the Integrity Commission, which is why we called Saddam first did the letter. Give him a round of applause again, young Saddam. Our very own legal luminary, Rafi Balgo bin Maraj, and our very own fearless legal warrior, former AG Anand Ramlogan. They filed a pre-action protocol letter to find out why the Integrity Commission cleared Rowley when the evidence is clear that something is not right in the state of Trinidad and Tobago. So we have that one, and then we have this one as expressed. Newsday, why no action against the PM? Newsday, thank you Newsday, great story. They like us, hold up their paper. So read the Newsday and read the Express, but do not engage with Guardian Media Limited. Thank you very much. I am told this whole week, Guardian Media and some top operatives of the PNM, they come in every single day to lick down my candidates, lick down UNC, lick down NTA, lick down Jack, lick down Gary, lick down every egg. You're not going to get through, fellas. You're not getting through. You will not get through. You'll notice we don't advertise in Guardian Media. And there's a reason. I had it in my speech and then I took it out, but I feel I have to share it with you. On Sunday Guardian yesterday, they wrote a totally false narrative. They're repeating Rowley's narrative that I am pushing stand your ground law because I'm racially stereotyping. I have spoken, you have known me my life. I've said whether you're white, black, blue, green, blonde, wherever you come from, only one race, the human race, only one. So I've instructed my lawyers to call on the Guardian Media for their false narrative in yesterday's Guardian. I call on them. My lawyers will go far. We must not give them a free pass. So I'm warning you this week, when you pick up the Guardian, no, not going there. Just don't read it. Don't even buy it, by the way. Don't even buy it. Okay, so talking about the Rowleys in breach of law, I want to ask the Integrity Commission. But the question is why? Why? In light of everything you have cleared or you say you clear Rowley. Now they admit in their letter back to Saddam, they admit that Rowley was in breach of the law. But they did nothing. And Rowley stand on one platform. You know Rowley now, he said they clear him. You would have thought Rowley would have given you the letter clearing him. But he didn't clear him. They said he breached the law. But they're not going to do nothing. So we go to court, and the courts will decide. As Rudy tell you, they don't like Privy Council. We'll go all the way to the Privy Council. It is a dangerous precedent. Rudy say he not filing and so on, but I will file. I'm a good law-abiding citizen. I will file mine. And they say Rowley breached the law, but he didn't do it knowingly. How long that man in Parliament now? How many years, Wade? Many, many years, decades. And every year we file, you suddenly didn't know you had to declare you buy 2 townhouse or 1 townhouse at undervalue. You didn't know. And that's why they escaped. He escaped. So I'm asking the Integrity Commission now. One of them, the chairman, his name is Professor Rajendra Ramlogan. You know, I'm a very lucky person. He was in my class in law school. And the second commissioner is a fellow named Frederick Jilks. You know, he was also in my class in law school. But by the way, I topped the law school. I remember that. I topped the law school. And so, I want to ask the Integrity Commission, when is your job coming up for renewal? Are you doing the bidding of the government? You say Rowley found guilty, he's breached the law, but it's okay, we're not doing him nothing. And you do it, that letter Saddam was written when? Since 2021. Since 2021, we are in 2023, on the eve of an election. You hold on to that letter Saddam sent. You never responded until the end of July, just before election, to say you clear Rowley. Anyway, Mr. Professor Ramlogan, not Anand, this is Rajendra. When is your office coming up for renewal? Will you tell the country? Are you doing the government's bidding to get back your job and eat your food? Frederick Jills, I'm asking you, did you recuse yourself from that deliberation about the Rowley matter? Because you applied for silk. I am told you didn't get it yet. They say claim it first and you might get it after. He applied for silk. Did you recuse yourself? Because you would have been conflicted. You had a conflict of interest in listening to a matter involving Mr. Rowley. Because Mr. Rowley is the final decision maker to sign off. To say, yes, Mr. Jilks, you're getting it. Just hold on. Just clear me, please, before the election. And they've done that. There are 2 questions I'm asking. Did you recuse yourself in that meeting? Conflict of interest. Because you're begging the Prime Minister for eat a food silk. Okay, so we move along. There are serious questions about the chairman and this deputy chairman of the Integrity Commission I've raised with you. I've asked you, I've told you their names. I'm asking them to inform the population why they dismissed the complaint against Rowley. When there's evidence against him, again, is it because you were promised senior counsel? Silk? Tell us why. Professor Ramlogan was appointed January 21 for 3 years. That is coming to an end. Professor, tell us, are you doing your master's bidding to get a renewal of your contract? As I close now and my time is well upon us, Kevin will be very upset with me. Kevin, give me a wave. Let's give Kevin a wave. He does a great job every night. Every night. Thank you, Kevin. Let's say thank you to DJ Tank. DJ Tank carries our song. Let's say thank you to William Archie, does our streaming, and all the others who work backstage. Let's give them all a round of applause. I make it abundantly clear tonight, I will continue to stand on the side of law-abiding citizens. When you go out to vote this week and on August 14th, remember exactly what is at stake. You're not simply voting for the councillor. You're voting for your future. You're voting to protect your loved ones. I want you to look at the faces of your loved ones, husband, wife, mother, father, children, brother, sister. Look at the faces of the loved ones. And then, when you see those faces, they are the persons you're voting for when you go to the polls. Love and remember them. Their future, their security, their safety, their happiness depends on each and every one of you. You're not happy when you have to turn your house into a prison to be safe. And they are still coming for you in your home whilst you're sleeping. What kind of terrifying life are you living? So you have to come out. You have to come out and vote them out on Monday and during the rest of this week. And we will send a message to this wicked government. A message to tell Mr. Rowley that you and your family's security are more important. And he must fire Hines. And when he finishes firing Hines, he must fire himself. They must all go. By sending this government a message, they may change the course of their behavior, although I doubt it very much. By sending a message, they may change course. They may work to bring down the food prices. We know how to do it. We did it. By sending this message to them, you're saying you are fed up of your children and grandchildren being bullied and beaten at schools. By sending them a message, you're saying you want sustainable jobs. The very people this dictator government continue to ignore, to oppress the most, the people whom they have forgotten, whom they have left behind, whom they just do not care about. We must send a message that your security and your happiness matter. Tonight I say, as I close, the code is yellow. Your job starts now, every day this week and on August 14th. Don't tote, just vote. Tonight I want to welcome a very special guest. Our candidate, John Ali Bokas, better known as Macamillion. Did you know he has the most beautiful sister in the world? Fayan Ali Bokas. She lives in the States, but she came down. Fayan, please join us on the platform. Please welcome Miss Trinidad and Tobago former, Fayan Ali Bokas.
Focus on Ali Bokas. Focus on UNC. The sun must rise. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Everyone. Amen. Amen. I stand before you so very proud. I stand before you so empowered. And the reason why is because every one of us, we carry that power. And it's only if we realize that the power is in our hand. The power is our democracy. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we the people, we must stand up, rise, elevate, and go forth. Yes, we must, because the sun must rise. And as my grandmother would say, wake up, wake up, wake up, people. Wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Everything must change. This event was poor raising, and you have my 100% endorsement. The code is yellow. The code is blue. We stand together and elevate take our Trinidad and Tobago back. Take it back.
Boss, we didn't plan this, right? We didn't plan this, but
We did not.
you know the boss love music. Anybody inside here know the boss love music? Boss, I want Faye Ali Bokas to sing a song for you.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one stays the same. The young becomes the old. Mysteries do unfold, but that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. Everything must change. Wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Ready? UNC.
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory.